and almost invariably by the general public. Even in today's era of highly accessible information, their importance and impact are not well known. They and their work should be better appreciated, because they were groundbreaking trailblazers, whether or not they would have recognised that at the time. Luck plays a role in every scientist's life, whether or not they are prepared to admit it. In the case of Gertrude Elion, it was her father's suggestion that, after repeatedly failing to get even as far as job interviews after obtaining her MSc in chemistry, she ring up Burroughs Wellcome, simply because he was familiar with the company, because they made a painkiller he used in his dental practice. There, Elion quickly found her feet and stayed for many years researching novel designer drugs, for which she ultimately won the Nobel Prize in 1988. The Chinese-American physicist Chen-Shung Wu said of her own work that, relying purely on ingenuity, determination, and luck, three of us, an enthusiastic chemist, a dedicated student, and myself, worked together uninterruptedly to grow about 10 large, perfect translucent CMN single crystals by the end of 3 weeks. Growing crystals of complex molecules is something of a black art, which is why luck enters into it. But she was also unlucky in that the Nobel Committee overlooked her strong credentials. She enters the group of women, to which Lisa Meitner from this book also belongs, who are so often identified as those who did not win a Nobel Prize when they were more than deserving. Here, lack of luck in the lottery of winning big prizes also enters into the dimension, along with a bias often attributed to the Swedish committee. The determination Chen-Shung Wu mentions is also a crucial character trait absolutely required for success for anyone in science. Determination is often epitomized by the hard work that Marie Curie, with her husband Pierre, put in to extract from the bulk mineral pitchblende the trace components of the elements ultimately known as thorium and polonium that give rise to high levels of radioactivity, levels she recognised as being much higher than that due to uranium alone. Marie Curie is of course the female scientist that most members of the public are likely to be able to name, and the only woman accorded the honour of 2 Nobel Prizes, one in physics and one in chemistry. Rachel Carson was another woman who exhibited enormous determination to bring her concerns about environmental pollution to the wider public, however much this steeliness may have been hidden behind a quiet exterior. Without this strength of mind, coupled with beautiful writing skills, it is unlikely that the dangers associated with pesticides such as DDT would have been recognised and acted upon anything like as fast. Above all else, though, scientists must harness their creativity and imagination. Research and discovery necessarily requires a plunge into the unknown. If the answers were already known, then there would not be any research to do. Not everyone is cut out to cope with such uncertainty and unfamiliarity, but the 10 women discussed here all possessed the curiosity and willingness to attack a blank sheet of paper with gusto and guts. The results they obtained changed the world of science, whether or not their names are familiar in our daily lives. These women overcame all the many obstacles their gender placed in their way to produce breathtaking results of profound significance, work whose importance still echoes today. We should be grateful to these pioneers, and without sentimentalising their lives, we should appreciate all they did to facilitate the female scientists who have followed in their footsteps. As the L'Oreal tagline puts it, the world needs science, and science needs women. The lives of the 10 women described here provide us with much food for thought, and perhaps inspiration for the budding scientists of tomorrow. Athene Donald, Professor of Experimental Physics, University of Cambridge, and Master of Churchill College. Acknowledgements. We would like to thank the following for their encouragement, forbearance and support: our families, Duncan Proudfoot and his colleagues at Robinson. Introduction. Oxford housewife wins Nobel would not pass muster as a politically correct headline these days, notwithstanding the